Hello, I am Nick Anthony, and I am in Los Angeles, California. And I just wanted to put down some of my thoughts about 2020. I remember in 2016 when everyone was saying, oh man, that was the worst year ever. And I put out a blog post that was like, actually, things were pretty great. Like, I'd done some career things that I really enjoyed, and there was like a lot of good stuff going on. But now the trend of bagging on 2020 is pretty easy. Um, I just, I guess I just want to kind of look back for my own archival purposes. And someday I'm going to look back and be like, what was it like during that time? Like, what was it? I'm going to forget what it's like to have just seen people constantly wearing masks. And I'm going to forget about hopefully forget how divided this country is just on all sorts of ideas. But when I start at the beginning of the year, it was it was great. It was really great, and I was in a relationship that I was really happy with, and I was traveling a bunch, and I actually started the pandemic in March. I was on a cruise ship off the coast of Haiti when we found out there was a global pandemic. I was performing, and we still had to do like 10 more shows. Talk about like being the band on the Titanic. I mean, it was just this wild time where we didn't even know where if we'd make it back into port. We didn't know if we could trust the microphones that we were even talking into because we just didn't know. And now that we are, 10, 11 months into this thing, there's still so much we don't know. And I think that we're kind of lucky to have that. Because if we did know for sure, like, this coronavirus is like, all right, to people this age, it's not as deadly, but to this... But if you got COVID and then 2 weeks later you were dead, we would just know. So we don't know that. And that's like I'm appreciative that we don't know that, because if it was more definitive, things would be way, way, way worse. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out what I'm grateful for. So February comes. I think I had COVID in February. I got sick, like next level, 2 weeks, temperature up and down, sick, and it was bad. And then in March, I was actually on a cruise ship when that all went down, and then came back and was in LA for the first month, and then went back to Minnesota for a while. And, just my personal life took a turn. And you just never know. Yeah, you just never know if it's COVID. You hear all these people like going through things, and it's just hard to know what's going on with, with people. Not just my relationships with people in my life, but my friends. I've had all sorts of different, my siblings, my aunts and uncles. Everyone's going through something, and that's a hard thing to, I don't know. It's hard to admit, like, I try to stay so positive, but it's hard to admit that there's like this weird low level depression that is just there. It like, I don't want to admit that because it makes me feel like I'm not strong, but I think it's the truth. Like, it's so weird to just unilaterally say that about everyone. Like, hey, there's just this malaise over people. But that is what we are, and for the future versions of myself who look back at this and they think, all right, where's your headspace at? What's good? What's bad? What's ugly? It's like, what's good is I have my health, and I have my friends, and I have my family, and I have the optimism of looking forward, and hopefully looking forward to a time when this is over. But the truth is, the isolation is intense, and I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. For a while there, I got to travel within the country, so I was able to kind of have the illusion of like, all right, cool, I'm keeping it I've been to like, I think 11 or 12 different states this year. But in December, I got my bike stolen, and I ended up getting my bike back by driving around and finding the guy. And just a crazy. Actually, wrote a short story about it. It's on my website if you want to look at it. It's called "How I Unstole My Bike." The next morning, though, I woke up with a cough, and then I went and took a test, and I ended up having COVID. So that stopped me from being able to travel during the holiday, and it was the first time I'd ever spent the holiday alone. And what's, I think, really hard is not only did I not get to see my family, I mean, I got to see one friend, which was so amazing, and it made it, I got through it. But just all of the people that are close physically, but we're still so distanced because of these times. So, I don't know. To me, in the future, it wasn't nothing. It was something, and it was difficult. It was really hard, but there is hope that, at least for myself, that I still, as foolish as this might feel or say, or this words coming out of my mouth are dumb, I still have to believe the best is yet to come. I still feel like I'm at the beginning of my life. I have a beautiful apartment here in Los Angeles. I have a car that works. I have, my health. I have a lot to be thankful for. I'm 80,000 words into a novel about my time in Southeast Asia, and I can't wait to get back over there and travel. That's really just what I want to do right now. I'm in the mindset of wanting to travel and wanting to publish my novel. So, to 2020, I say, yeah, it was rough, but I paid off my college loan. That was nice. There's a lot to be grateful for. And I just, as much as we need to check in on the people who are having a hard time, or the people that you think need checking in on, sometimes you got to check in on the strong ones too, because you never really know what anyone's going through. So I'm just reaching out into the ethos, saying hello, you're not alone, and may we see each other in 2021.